Hello, Floss Tube! Welcome back to Lark Laughing. The boys are back in school. Yay! I have a bunch of stuff for you today. I have a little bit of WIP update, a little bit of haul, and the 20 things tag, which I'm doing a little differently, but we'll get to that later. So, first I wanted to, when I first started FlossTube about a year ago, a little over a year ago, so it's my Flossiversary, or whatever they call it. And one of the first things that happened was that I won a little giveaway that McKenna had at Every Stitch Counts. And it has taken me a while, but I finally used the stuff that she sent me. She sent me this little dimensions kit with a little wooden square that you can stitch and put on a necklace. And so I won that on McKenna's giveaway, and hopefully she'll see this. And I didn't want to do the little, I'm a rebel, so I didn't want to do the little design that they have here. So I took one out of a book called, I think it's called Graffiti Cross Stitch. And I like spirals, so I made a little spiral. And whoop, it's not going to hold still. There it is. And they give you a lot of floss. Of course, I didn't use hardly any of the pink and orange floss, so there's a bunch of that left. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's not really my style to wear. I could give it to a little girl at church, but this kit would be a great thing for, you know, somebody just starting out. If you have a daughter or somebody who wants to try it out, this would be a cool thing to do. And I like how the spiral came out. It looks nice. I'll find something to do with it. So thank you, McKenna. It's really cute. I like the colors. I like the spiral. And it was fun stitching on the wood. I didn't know what that would feel like. I was sick. What was I doing? I think I was sick of stitching on my tablecloth, and so I wanted something else to do. And this was definitely very different. And it was kind of fun stitching through the wood. So that's another experience. Yay. So I wanted to do a shout out to my friend Kate, who is Petronella Rose on YouTube. If you enjoy WIP parades, or if you're sick of the usual WIP parades, you can go over to hers. The reason I mention it is because her WIP parade is almost entirely ink circles patterns. And personally, I love ink circles. I haven't stitched any yet, but I think they're gorgeous. And I have a couple of them in the queue. So if you would like to see a lovely WIP parade of ink circles patterns, go over to Petronella Rose and see that. It's pretty fun. Next, speaking of WIP parades, as I said to some friends on Facebook, my WIP parade is more of a WIP saunter because I have about 5. So Atomic Stitches, you're wrong. I am the shortest WIP parade on FlossTube because today is a pain day and I don't want to go get I have a pattern that I only work on when I'm gaming and it's downstairs and I don't want to go get it. I have a pattern that sits in the car, and I'm not going to go get that either. So those are 2. And then I have the one that I'm doing for my uncle, which I haven't worked on at all because I'm trying to do the other 2 things I'm doing this year that I assigned myself to do this year. So those are my 3 others. You've seen Expecto Patronum before. That's the car project. The gaming project is a simple little, I think it's Dimensions Poppies project. It's not, you know, exciting. And then the tree for my uncle you've seen before because I started it back in May. So, you know, I'm not going to go get those out. And the other 2 projects that I have are right here somewhere. Here's the tablecloth. We have gotten up to 7 swans a-swimming. There it is. It's almost done. I'm still, as you can see, doing some back stitching around the ribbon here. I have to finish. Is that right? Yeah, I have to finish up this bit here. But that's all. So, and then really, I'm supposed to get the 8 Maids Are Milking here were already stitched when I got this. Aunt Peg stitched that. So I need to back stitch that as well. If I can get those done, I don't think I'm going to get them done in the next 2 days, but which is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be done with 8 by the end of August. But I think I can be, I think that will go quickly next month. So yeah. So that means I am halfway. I don't know if I said that last time. I might have. I don't know. But the 1/2, where is it? Here's the 1/2. The partridge in a pear tree, 2, what are they? 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds, 5 gold rings, 6 geese a laying, you can't see because he's stuck there, and 7 swans a swimming. So we're getting there. We're going to have it done by Christmas. I'm excited. Okay. And the other project that I'm doing this year is the Dragon Sal. And I am putting these into, oh, I forgot to bring it. I'm putting these into into cards and frames that I'm giving to friends who have birthdays on that month, instead of doing a large, piece like Brittany has charted. So if I can find them, I will give you pictures. I'm not sure. I think I showed you May and June last time, didn't I? I think I did. So I will find a picture of the July dragon and put it here. That one went off to my best friend in San Diego that I've had since I was 8. And then August we're getting into the busy time of birthdays that I have. I have 2 friends in August and I have 3 in September. So we'll see if I can get all 3 September dragons done. I don't know. This is no reflection on Brittany. I love the August dragon, the Quetzalcoatl dragon, but I thought that my August friends would prefer a different one. So what I did was I took the colors from the August dragon and put them onto the April dragon, which I hadn't done because I don't have any friends with birthdays in April. So, so I took the August peridot colors and put them on the April dragon. And this is how they came out. Now I'm doing these on scraps that I bought on Stash and Load. So it's very random what, light? Hello, light. So it's very random what fabric I'm doing these on. And this one happened to be, it's either a 36 or 40 count linen. It is so tiny. I've never worked on anything this tiny before. And so the dragon came out very tiny. And these are my friend's initials that this is going to. And then my other friend, her fabric looks like it's probably a Lugana. It's some kind of even weave, I think. Or else it's a really, really soft linen. I don't know. Because it does have slubs. It has some slubs in it. So, but I didn't know that linen could be this soft. So, you can see it there. You can see how stiff this is and how flexible and soft this is. It's really weird. So, anyway, I thought I'd show that to show the difference in size, like, for any newbies like me who were wondering. This is when you stitch something on like 40 count, and then this is probably like a 32 or something. It's bigger, even though they're the same pattern, stitched the same number of stitches. This one came out much bigger than that one. So, yeah. So I used some Kreinik there on the necklace, the choker, that's what it is. So I think they came out really nice, and I think they're going to like them. No, I haven't sent them out yet, as you can see. Even though their birthdays were at the beginning of August. That's the trouble with doing this, is that if your friends have their birthdays at the beginning of the month, there's no way you can get these to them in time. So I just told them, your card is coming later. So I think they're going to like them. Yay. Okay. Oh, and this is my Alice in Wonderland shirt. I got this at a thrift store for $2. I was so excited. It has, you can't see it, it goes, Alice is down here somewhere. Where is she? There. But the Cheshire Cat is up here. It's so cool. Okay, what do I have next? So that's my WIP Saunter. That's all I have. So I have those and 3 other projects. Whee! So I have this thing about having to finish things. I have to finish things. And so I don't have a whole bunch of projects started. We'll see. Maybe next year at Mania, I'll start all the things. I'll start a whole bunch of ornaments or something. I don't know. But let's see. What's next? Oh, next is the 20 things. Now, doing the 20 things differently. What I decided to do is, see if I can, no, this way. There. I decided to, oh, you like my Star Wars Band-Aids? Cool. Instead of just, I tried to come up with 20 things about myself. They were boring because either there's stuff I don't want to share on the internet, you know? I mean, the interesting things is stuff I don't want to share on the internet. And then there's the things that oh, Tarkin's here. You can see he's wearing the cone of shame. Tarkin. They're both here. There they are. Tarkin and Leia. Yes. Say hi, guys. Yeah, Tarkin has the cone of shame because he had some teeth extracted. So, what? You weirdo. Anyway, so he's not enjoying his time in the cone of shame. It's going to be about 2 weeks. So, okay. Anyhow, 20 things. As I said, I keep some things in my pocket for playing Never Have I Ever. I try not to, there are certain things that I keep secret for those occasions. And, you know, as I said, revealing on the internet. So what I decided to do was I asked my kids to write 20 things about their mom. I haven't looked at it. So this may be another video of me crying. We'll see. Or it might, my hair is, yeah. It might be a video of me getting really embarrassed. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I asked my older son, who is 16, to write 10, and my younger son, who's 11, to write 10 things about mom. So I reserve the right not to read one if it's too personal. I'm not telling you guys everything. But I'm gonna try to read it exactly as written. They may be hard to read. We'll see. They don't have the best handwriting. I think I'm gonna go with the younger one first. Okay, ready? Number 1. You're gonna love this. Number 1. Mom is very good at cross stitching. Number 2. She usually wants it to be cool inside. That's true. I don't like hot weather. I grew up in San Diego and I'm sick of being hot. Number 3, she loves playing apples to apples. I do enjoy that. It can be very funny. We've had some very funny incidents playing apples to apples. I also enjoy Cards Against Humanity, but I don't play that with the 11-year-old. So, number 4, Mom played piano when she was younger. Yes, I did. Not very well, and I didn't enjoy it. But I did. My mom taught me piano, and that was the source of the frustration. So, anyway. Number 5, my mom likes Chinese food. Yes. I do. Is there any story to that? Not really, I just like Chinese food. Number 6, she also likes watermelon. And number 7, as well as cantaloupe. They aren't my favorite. They're his favorite foods. That's why he put those down, because watermelon and cantaloupe are his favorite foods. 8, she mostly wants... I'm not sure what this means. She mostly wants called from fast food restaurant. That's not true. I think he again is projecting a little bit. She always wants to play Pandemic. Not always, but it is a good game. And number 10, Mom, however, never wants to play Risk. That's true too, because Risk is boring as all get out. And it pretty soon becomes apparent, who's going to win, but then it takes like 6 more rounds before that person does win, and so you're just in this long, slow death. And yeah, that's really depressing. Of course, Pandemic is also a long, slow death, but you're all in it together, so it's okay. Pandemic is a collaborative board game where you try to stop a pandemic from spreading across the world, basically, is what it is. But the 4 of you are against the game. So it's really cool for, you can play it with lots of different ages, and you teach your kids teamwork and how to discuss things. And yeah, so it's cool. Risk, on the other hand, is just, beating each other up. So if you like Risk, that's great, but it's not my thing. Okay, now let's see what the 16-year-old has to say. That was pretty neutral, wasn't it? Okay. The 16-year-old says, well, he didn't number them. Number 1, mint ice cream must be green. Okay, so now I'm going to have to tell you this story. So when I was pregnant with him, with the 16-year-old, who we will call Harry for the purposes of these videos, because my younger one is a redhead and we call him Weasley. So we'll call the older one Harry. So when I was pregnant with Harry, that doesn't sound good. It means I'm going to die. No. When I was pregnant, I had a lot of cravings, as you do. I also had a lot of hormones, as you do. And so I was having a lot of hormones, and I was very upset. And I told my husband that I wanted mint chocolate chip ice cream. I craved this with both pregnancies. I think it's because mint settles the stomach. So I wanted mint chocolate chip ice cream. And so he went to the store, and he thought he would be, the excellent husband and get the all-natural Breyers mint chocolate chip ice cream. He thought he was doing a really good thing here, getting the right thing, and he comes back with this, well, because Breyers is all natural, doesn't look like all the other mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's white, because it has no artificial colors in it. And so he came back with this, and he gave it to me, and because I was just so overcome with hormones, I was like, he's like, "What? What's wrong?" It's not green. It's not green. I wanted green ice cream, and I was crying, and so yeah, this is one of our biggest family jokes, is that it must be green. The mint ice cream has to be green. That's number 1. Number 2. Has 10 5-foot bookcases full of books. This is also true. I do. So in this room, there are 1, 2, 3, there are 4 in this room. I have the Oz books on this shelf, and books that friends have written or that I've worked on and edited on this shelf. All of my Christian Bibles and hymnals and Christian reference books over here, and Madeline L'Engle and C.S. Lewis and some other stuff on that one. And then downstairs there are 3 large bookshelves of children's and adult fiction, and then 1 of paperbacks, and then the living room is the fancy bookshelf that has all the old books, and the library shelf. I don't know if that adds up to 10. There's a lot. I go to used bookstores, love used bookstores, buy used books, and I'm a librarian and an editor and a writer, so yeah, I have 10 5-foot bookcases full of books. Are they 5 foot? They're more like 6 foot, I think. Anyway, number 3 is the cool mom at my high school. I honestly have no idea how that happened because I'm never there. But but my son's best friend comes over to the house and she loves me and she tells everybody how great I am, and then his friends come over, and I don't know how it happened, but I'm the cool mom at the high school. Number 4, the only video game I've seen Mom put any time into is Myst. That's interesting. I did, but before, like 5 years ago, I used to play more video games. I put some time into Katamari, but he doesn't know that because that's what I played both times I had a newborn. For some reason, Katamari was very soothing. Katamari is a video game you play on the PlayStation, and it's a Japanese game, obviously. And it's really different from any other game you'll play. You have a ball, and you're pushing this ball, and the ball goes around this environment, and anything it hits sticks to it. If it's the right size. Like when the ball is this big, it'll only pick up things that are that size. But then it gradually, because the things stick to it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then bigger things stick to it. And so you have a timer of about like 5 minutes in which to see how many things you can attach to your ball as it rolls around this environment. I know it sounds dumb, but it's actually really addictive and really fun. So that's the other video game I put time into, that and Final Fantasy. And that's about it. But I haven't played a video game in like 5 years. So I don't know. I got to a place where I have enough anxiety in my life and I don't need extra stress. So that's number 5. Yeah. Mom has an awesome Lord of the Rings cloak. Well, it's not a Lord of the Rings cloak. It's just a cloak that I had made when I was in college. And it's brown on the outside and green lining. And it works for Lord of the Rings, but it's not a Lord of the Rings. It's just a cloak. So we did in college, we did a lot of dressing up and costume stuff. And so it wasn't actually like... You may have heard of the Society for Creative Anachronism, who are people who do all kinds of medieval and Renaissance historical stuff. We weren't that. We were just doing it for our own fun and to go to the Renaissance fair dressed up. So that's why I have a cloak. Number 6, Mom is a freelance editor. Yeah. Sometimes I haven't had a job in quite a while. And that's kind of by design. I could have pursued some more, but library work has been taking a lot of my time and I want to do more writing. So we'll see. Number 7, Mom is annoyed when people say irregardless. Yes, absolutely. It's not a word. I don't care what the dictionary says. It's not a word. It's wrong. Whenever my son wants to, as they say, take the mickey out of me or, annoy me, he'll just say irregardless, and I'll want to slap him. Mom is also annoyed by the song All by Myself I Stand Alone. The movie Quest for Camelot. I'm sorry if you like this movie. I did not like this movie. One of the reasons I did not like this movie is it has inane songs. The most silly of these songs is All by Myself I Stand Alone, which is redundant and ridiculous. Okay. 9, Mom has a bachelor's degree in art. Yes, I do. And I don't use it. Hardly ever. So, I don't know. I might take up some more drawing. We'll see. Number 10, Mom knows everything, underline, 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 about Oz universe. Well, that's not true. And he's written, everything, as much emphasis as possible about the Oz universe. And that's not true at all, because Garrett knows way more than I do about the movie stuff. And there are lots of people who know more than I do about the extended books. I know the first 14 pretty well, the ones that Baum wrote, but I don't know the others. I was expecting more embarrassing or touching moments in this, and there weren't. Oh, well, I guess they were trying to keep it nice. So, haul. Would you like to see some haul? We got some haul. Some from Stash and Load. I got this beautiful, which is Night Magic. But it's from something called Sassy's Fabbies, which I don't know who that is. I am going to open this up. I want to see. Whoops. I broke the bag. So Night Magic. Looks like that. It's not very mottled. It's mostly just blue. I like that color. Smells good. I just like the dark blue. I think it could be used for a lot of neat things. And from the same person, I got a piece of Mesa. What is this? It's a 16 count Ada. I don't like Ada that much, but this was a really good price, and it was Mesa, which I want to use. I have a Colorado pattern that, oops, is on this? Yes, I think it will. I have a Colorado, what are they? The Oberlin, did she call them samplers? I don't know, but the Oberlin, no, not Oberlin. Oberlin does the maps, right? I don't remember now. Anyway, these are the ones with the word, the state name, and then it has a bunch of little things in the state name. State name is usually in blue. So I have the Colorado one of those and the California one of those, and I wanted to put Colorado on Mesa. Not sure if I will or not, because this is looking... It does not look like that. That is looking more beige. It's actually more peach than I expected. It's much more like the color of my face. It's much more peach and not like rust color, because we have Garden of the Gods here, the big red rocks. And so I wanted something that looked like that, and this doesn't really. Even though it's called Mesa, it doesn't really look like the red rocks. It's just more peachy. So I'll find something else to do with it. It'll look pretty. It's very pretty. It's just not the color I was looking for. Very, very pretty. Okay, I went to my L&S to get, what was I getting? Oh, I had to get the Kreinik for the dragons, the little lime green Kreinik, and they were having, I'm really kind of upset, guys. Our L&S here is, I won't say the name, but it's mostly a quilting store. They have, you know, like, I'd say at least 75% of the store is quilting stuff. No, it's more than that. It's more like 80% of the store is quilting stuff, and then only 20% of the store is stitching stuff. And they don't have, they used to carry some patterns. Now there are no patterns there. There's a fair amount of fabric, and they have the complete DMC, and they have the complete Kreinik, and they have some, what's it called? Weeks Dye Works, and the water lilies and watercolors and all those are hanging up. But I noticed the last time I was in there, there were a lot of the containers that they used to have thread in were gone. All the patterns were gone. There were no patterns at all except Mill Hill kits hanging on our spinner. So I'm worried. I asked the lady there if they were like what's the word? Not fading, phasing things out. And she said she didn't think so, but I'm worried. We'll see. We may end up having to go to Denver if we want anything special. And one of the things they were phasing out, because they had a little basket there that said Threadworks half off. So I've never had Threadworks before. They have these lovely lemon bags. So I got each of these for 50% off. And they're Threadworks, so they don't have names. They're just numbers. This is 1032. You can't see. The lighting in here is terrible for color. But let's just say I got 5 of those, and they're really pretty. I don't know what I'll do with them. Someday I will use. They're all kind of pastel-y, peachy, browny, except this one's gray. So yep, got those. I found 2 more magazines that I didn't do in the last video. So this one is Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, March, April 95. And it has this cool rooster pattern. He's kind of cool. And it also, but the one I really like is this. It's called Illuminated House Blessing. It looks like that. I'm going to put that in there. And it says, Saint Francis and Saint Benedict bless this house. Well, Benedict is what it says. And it must be pronounced that way because it rhymes with white, which is, yeah, I don't know where the English, sorry, I have to keep moving it, but the lighting keeps going funny. So I don't know why the Old English is like this, but it says, Saint Francis and Saint Benedict bless this house from wicked wight. Keep it from all evil sprites, fairies, weasels, bats, and ferrites. Ferrites? It's spelled F-E-R-R-Y-T-E-S. Ferrites. Sprites, ferrites, I guess. But it's got really cool Celtic design stuff in it, which you know I love. So that's that one. I didn't actually just acquire these. I found them in a stack. And then this one is similar, I think. This is in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, January, February 96. It's interesting. It's in January, February. I've noticed that these magazines, they'll put Christmas stuff anywhere. This is a Christmas pattern, but it's in January, February. This is Christmas Bells, which I just think is gorgeous. I think it was Nell at Little Yellow House Crafts showed this when she got a big stack of magazines. And I saw it. I said, oh, I have to have that. And I wrote down which magazine it was, and I found it somewhere. So I think this looks very Russian. The domes and spires and stuff. So, and it says, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. So, and each of these towers has bells in it. I think it's really pretty. So. At the library's used bookstore, I found this Victorian cross stitch. So I picked this up. Why? I don't know. It just has a lot of floral stuff in it. It has some alphabets. This one is, oh, I can't show you that. That's the pattern. Here we go. That's kind of neat. So you can see that there. What else does it have? I think there was something else I really liked. This one. It's another floral pillow thing. You know, it's just... This one is interesting because it's not exactly floral. It's more like an Art Nouveau kind of thing. Yeah. And there's some other floral borders and stuff. We also have bunnies getting married for some reason. Are they getting, oh, they're not getting married. Or are they? No, they're just... Okay. They're just walking in the garden, I guess. Bunnies with parasols, like you do. And what else have we got? More flowers and hummingbirds. Who has not seen a flower and hummingbird pattern? There's like a bazillion out there. Why do they keep making them? There are more flowers and hummingbirds out there than anyone could ever stitch. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. So, on stash unloading, I live in Colorado where we have lots of forests and mountains and stuff. So these, I'm not really big on Santas, but I like these ones because they're kind of mountainy. So we've got the Smoky Mountain Santa, who has a cougar on his back. Mountain lion. We have mountain lions around here, so I like that one. This one is Allegheny Santa. He's got a bear in his backpack, which we also have around here. In fact, we had a story in the newspaper lately about the bear who got into somebody's house and helped himself to everything. So that was fun. Yeah. And then the Pikes Peak Santa, because we live here under Pikes Peak. It's the big mountain in our backyard. Well, not in my backyard exactly, but it's over there. And he's got an eagle. So I was happy to find those for a good price. And this is an interesting one. Occasionally, I am not a sampler person, but occasionally, you know how you see something and you go, oh, I love that, even though it's not your usual thing. So that's what happened with this. I just saw it and I was like, oh, I want that. It's very similar to Long Dog, I guess, and I love Long Dog stuff. This is Rosewood Manor. I do like some of Rosewood Manor's stuff. Not all of it, but this one is really neat. You got a big... Is that a turkey or a peacock? I think it's a turkey down in the middle there. And then some other birds. So you could put them all together, or you could do them as 6 little separate things. It just looks cool. I don't know. Willkommen. I actually ordered this one new from 123 Stitch. This is Always Remember from Big Toe Designs, because I wanted something to remember my aunt, who passed away from breast cancer. Well, breast cancer that spread everywhere else. So, yeah, so I'm going to do that one. Just recently, I got the cat Afghan. I think that looks really fun. I'm not going to be able to do it for forever, but I love the way they're going in and out of different squares, and there's all different kinds of cats. And I do want to do that Soda Stitch, what is it called? Sewing cats? Oh, I want to do that too, but someday. This I thought was funny, okay? So I bought this pattern from somebody on Stash Unload, and it says, Walk in the Country, and it's from The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, which is a book of, I think, watercolor paintings that some Edwardian lady did. So, and I like this because it looks like it has a lark down there at the bottom. I'm not sure if it is, but it could be very well be a lark. It looks very similar. And what was funny is that the same person who had that cat Afghan pattern on Stash Unload also had this, the Country Diary Collection 2, and look here. You look real close right there. It's the same thing. It's the same picture. There's the little lark and there's the flowers and everything. But I was just looking at it today, and I think they're different patterns from the same watercolor. They're definitely different colors. So it'll be interesting to look at them and see how two different people interpreted. Let's see if I can get this here. There. See how two different people interpreted the same picture into cross stitch. So that's kind of neat. And then this Country Diary collection has a whole bunch of other patterns too. It's mostly flowers and birds. There's like a flower for each month kind of thing. So yeah. There's, you can see there's some acorns and Christmas stuff. So now for the really good stuff. So I got this one. These two were also on, this was on Stash Unload. Someday when I'm old and gray and retired, I will do this. This is Scarlet Quince's, what are they calling it? The Great Trees, Mariposa Grove, California, by Albert Bierstadt. Albert Bierstadt painted this painting. He painted a lot of paintings of California landscapes, and I'm from California, and I especially love the big sequoias, which is what this is, and I've actually been here to the Mariposa Grove in Sequoia National Park. So, yeah, I really wanted this one, and it was a wonderful price. This is not the price. It was much less than that. So I was very excited to get this one. But it must be incredibly detailed because, I mean, look at that picture. Whoa, yeah. Look at the floss list. That's a long list. And see, I've never done one of these huge full coverage pieces before. I don't want to take it out to see how many pages it is. Does it have a page number? What does it say? 26. 26 pages. So, someday. I'm just glad I have it, you know, before it disappears. And this is another California thing. This is actually not Heaven and Earth Designs. This is artwork. Oh, maybe it is. Well, it's by Michelle Saeta, but I know Lena Lawson Designs also carries this. So, I don't know how that works. But Michelle Saeta designed it from the artwork by Maria Pettit. And this is Poppy Puss. It's a cat, and the cat has California poppies on her. So I had to have that, you know, from California. It's a cat. So, speaking of cats, look at this. Look at the lazy bum. Tarkin. Tarkin. Nope. He's sleeping. And then the last thing I got, and this I did get new because it was on sale on 123 Stitch, I got Quaker Gone Tropic. Because I think it's gorgeous. And it was on the top of my wish list, and I want to do it someday. So when it was 25% off, I decided to grab it. So, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay. Here's my notes. Lost my notes. There they are. Oh, book of the month. So that's all the haul, and I think I kept it down some. I probably bought too much, but oh well. And probably won't be as much haul in the future, but we'll see. And next month is going to be really boring because I'm doing 3 of the same dragon. So I don't know what I'm going to show you next month. I'm just going to show you 3 of the same blue dragon and another 9, what is it, probably 9 ladies dancing. That's all I'm going to have to show you. Anyway, book of the month is March. You may not have heard of this unless you move in children's or YA book circles. But I highly recommend this for everyone, especially white people. Uh, something happened in my generation, okay? I went to high school in the 80s and to college in the 90s. Because the 80s were still so close to the 60s, we didn't cover this in history. Or maybe my schools just sucked. That's also possible, because they did. But we didn't cover civil rights in my high school. We didn't learn about it at all. I learned about it from my parents a little bit. I knew that Martin Luther King had made this speech. I knew that people had been, sat in the front of the buses, and that people had marched. No, I don't think I even knew about the marches. Well, I knew they had protests and marches for civil rights. But I didn't know a whole lot. And, part of that's on me, not just the schools. That's on me. I did not pursue it like I should have. But I think, now this is personal, but, I think it's our responsibility as privileged white people in America to find out about this stuff and educate ourselves. So this is an excellent book for doing that, because it's not terribly difficult read. It is actually a graphic novel. You can see here. It is told from the perspective of Congressman John Lewis. He's now a congressman, but he wasn't then. This is, the beginning is his growing up and what it was like growing up black in the South. And then eventually he gets involved with the, what are they called? The student organization that did the protests. I can't remember what the name is. But he becomes involved with the student organization. And they start with the sit-ins in Montgomery, Alabama, I think, sitting at the lunch counters. And I think that's as far as this book goes. You can see it says book 1. It's because there's a book 2 and a book 3 that go into how he met Martin Luther King and how they did the march at Selma and the march on Washington. So it's, it's a first-hand account of everything that happened. It's accurate. It's easy to read. It's just a wonderful way to get introduced to all this stuff if you haven't been. And it's super important that we know about these things. So pick it up from your library and read it and learn. Yeah. So that is all I have today. So I hope that was good. I have to thank all of you because, what was it I was thinking? Oh, in all of the stuff going on in our country right now just gets really heavy and scary. And when I get really depressed about it, it's important to know about it, absolutely. But if you have mental illness as I do, you don't want to get overwhelmed by it. And it's very good for my mental health to come to FlossTube and watch an hour of you guys talking about your projects and showing off your projects. And that means so much to me to have that. And I thank you so much for making your videos and being funny and being personable and just being soothing, giving me something to watch and listen to soothe my mind, I guess. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for watching. I hope it was fun. And I'd like you to go out and make good art.